So, Rishi, now we are outside enjoying the beautiful sunshine of Shanghai.
hmm
So, Rishi, just let us know what's going on in India now.
So in India, with all the whole coronavirus impact and everything, the government has provided the stimulus today. So the Prime Minister, in his speech last night, did provide a stimulus of 20 lakh crores of stimulus within the domestic economy. And now the reason why they've done that is stimulus is aside. Well, one of the major steps which I particularly like that India has done is that they have barred all the neighboring countries, bordering countries of India, which are China, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Myanmar, Sri Lanka, Nepal, all those countries, Afghanistan even, all those countries to directly invest into Indian economy, Indian companies. So the FDI and FPI these days, foreign portfolio investment and foreign direct investment, has to go via the mechanism of the government route. So as a Chinese company, for example, Alibaba, you want to increase your stake into Paytm, which is the Indian Alipay. If you want to increase your stake, you have to get prior government approval to increase your stake. One of the reasons, major reasons behind that motive was China's People Bank of China, China's central bank. They increased their stake in India's HDFC Bank, which is the biggest mortgage lender in India. They stake by 0.8% to 1.1% in the last couple of months. They just bought the shares in the open market, on the stock market. And the reason being is by doing so, Indian companies are being bought, like I wouldn't say hostile takeover, but this whole opportunistic takeovers, opportunities by the Chinese companies being utilized to be able to invest into Indian companies and be buying them at a much discounted price.
Okay.
So for that, China's getting a value to be able to buy those shares, and India is losing out on the value because their companies are being owned by foreign investors. Now again, we go back to the point of Shanghai as the financial center. We said how China has to protect its domestic economy. There is a certain level of protectionism. This wouldn't necessarily be protectionism, but China does, not China, this policy isn't just necessarily for China, but indirectly it is for mostly Chinese companies. India is not necessarily taking the advantage of the protectionism route, but India is just maintaining that the certain companies are still maintaining the value of being Indian.
Okay.
The money stays within the country.
Okay.
They don't mind the ownership by foreign companies, and that's why they haven't barred the other companies. But it's just that they wouldn't want opportunities being utilized by only the neighboring countries and predominantly China. For example, Tencent, the Wechat parent company, owns more than 5% stake in Flipkart, which is the India's Taobao, India's Amazon. So it's fine, and Indian companies are always looking for investors, from Chinese companies, Chinese individuals, Chinese entities. The reason being is because 1 RMB is equivalent to 10 rupees. So because of the currency exchange rate, they get more value for money. The Indian companies get more value for money. And one thing that I don't understand is there's something that Chinese investors always see a value in, which the local Indian entrepreneurs or angel investors or local Indian companies don't see a value in their own home domestic companies. So Chinese, when they see an opportunity, they want to go ahead and invest.
Okay.
Now there are certain sectors which were already barred, which already had restrictions in place for certain countries like Afghanistan and Pakistan, were not allowed to invest into aerospace and defense sectors in Indian economy.
What?
That was before coronavirus. Because of the political tension between India and between Pakistan and Afghanistan, they wouldn't want that their core secrets to be taken over by Pakistani authorities.
Sure.
And even now, there are certain core sectors which are protected, and they will always be protected. But when I'm talking about, for example, the fintech industry, that is something where the Indian government will have to put and has put restrictions on with the Chinese companies.